Africa and bonjour to the world. This is the Leaven Brew. And because I'm a gentleman, today I'm going to introduce my co-host, the beauty and the brains. She's beautiful, she's intelligent. Drum roll please. My name is Andipanyasha Tanyarazwa Mtelezi.
Thank you so much, Kuzi. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Star Brew. Like Kuzi said, my name is Andipanyasha Tanyarazwa Mtelezi, and I'm the co-host to Kuzi. And today in the house, we've got two lovely gentlemen, Mr. Tiggs and Truman. So before we head into our exciting session, like I have tipped you on, we are in for a good time. We're going to play a little game that we call Get to Know Your Guests. So we're going to put your guests on a hot seat nyana. So, Mr. Tiggs, may you please pick a card from the ball?
Okay.
Can you give it to me? Thank you. Your first question for the day before we even get into the session. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
The ability to save whenever given an opportunity to do so.
Wow, Mr. Tiggs is indeed a servant leader. Kuzi, over to you.
Mr. Truman, you can pick your card.
Yes.
Let's see what we have. If you could ask your pet two questions, what would they be?
Well, the first one would be the favorite food of the pet, of course. Because most of the time we just feed those animals stuff that we don't even know if they like.
Exactly, that's true.
And of course, the name. We name them, but we never really know if that's their name. So, what is your name? Your favorite food? Yeah.
So Margaret Wilson, a New Zealand academic and politics reformer, once said, I suppose every generation has a conceit of itself which elevates it in its own opinion above that which comes after. So today our topic is generation gap, and to our viewers at home, so generation gap is basically the difference in attitudes between people of different ages, which leads to a lack of understanding. So my first question of the day goes to Mr. Tiggs. So for a home to be a happy place, there is need for trust between the parents and the child. But there's been a loophole lately because of the introduction of technology, the coming of cell phones and social media. So Mr. Tiggs, what do most parents think that their children use phones for?
Interesting. So from my own perspective, representing the parents and also be an expectant parent, I would like to believe that we are living in the fourth industrial revolution, and one of the things that most parents would like to think that their children use their phones for is for educational purposes.
Yes.
Number two, humans are social animals and so do our children. So I would like to believe that children will be using those phones for interacting with their peers, be it school, in their communities or in their family circles. And notwithstanding the aspect of the threats that are threatening young children of our age and our
we should
generation.
always be mindful of that.
Exactly. So parents being cognizant of the positive factors which come through technology and also through mobile devices. I'd like to give an example. A new app which was launched called Sasai.
Okay.
Sasai, on its explore page, if you see the apps that are in it now, educational, health purposes, and also interaction purposes. Which restaurant you want to go to? If you want a via, the child can order a via at his or her school. But going back to the aspect of threats, which is the main point which I think most parents fear for, there are explicit videos which are exposed to children when they reach through internet or via Bluetooth, share it, where they can share with each other. So things like pornography, things like explicit videos, nude pics are a threat to our young people. And I like that to believe that most parents fear that. But I do concur and believe with you that there needs to be a balance between the positive and the pros and cons.
Thank you. So as much as social media and these cell phones have brought improvement to our communities, they have also created what we call a crime scene because of the various negative threats that they pose to our children.
You know what, Ndipa?
Yes,
I wish
please.
Mr. Tigger was my dad was as cool as Mr. Tigere.
Yeah.
Because my parents, it's either you show them your phone or not. There are no two ways about it.
But he's so mindful of the fourth industrial
Of the fourth
revolution.
industrial
Data
revolution.
could be at our fingertips.
Yeah.
And not to let you off the hook, Kuzi, I do believe that from a standpoint of a parent, they are justified because there are also responsibilities that come through you owning that mobile device. And they are doing it out of love and also to ensure that you are doing the right thing.
Well said, well said. So Truman,
Yes.
as a youth, how do you feel when your parents don't trust you with your phone?
Well, I'd like to acknowledge what Mr. Tigere here has said, that there are threats that come with the use of phones is, the young people. But we have to understand one thing, that families should be based on trust, right? So if my parents are now demanding to see my phone, to go through my phone, it means that they do not trust me. And what message is it sending to me? It means that they do not trust me and I want to be trusted. So, you know what? I know that some youths are using their phones for the wrong things, but it does not mean that everyone is using them for the wrong things. So I feel very bad and I feel disrespected by my parents because they do not trust me and they are not giving me the responsibility to use my phone and to be careful when I'm using my phone. Yeah.
Because I'm also young, I understand what you're saying. Because our parents need to trust us with these devices.
Definitely.
They're the ones who bought them for us in the first place.
Yeah.
So even though they bought them, we own them.
And we also want to grow up as people who are accountable and responsible.
That's very true.
Especially the responsibility.
Yeah.
So as young people, there's a problem that we face most often. Our parents want to choose the careers for us. So, Mr. Tigere, what do you think about parents choosing careers for their own children?
My answer to that, Kuzi, if I may respond in an honest way, is that they should give children the opportunity to choose the things that they are passionate about, that they are good at, and that pay them very well. We call it a hedge or concept.
Yeah, money is key.
But,
Money is happiness.
but unfortunately, what then happens because of experience, most parents tend to choose what their children would pursue as their career options in life. Number one, because they've got to achieve a social status standing in society
That's very true.
and within family settings, so they want their children to be doctors and to be lawyers. Number two, the things that they might have failed to achieve, there are some of them, not all of them, not being stereotypical, who then want their children to do
To achieve those
their
things.
future career aspirations that they wanted to do but failed to do, but they feel proud when their children do so.
So
That they are
it's
very
a
proud of.
compensatory mechanism.
Exactly.
Because they fail to do it, they want their children to achieve that thing.
Unfortunately.
That's very unfair.
Okay, so Truman, what would you want to pursue in life?
I want to be an electronic and robotics engineer and also merge into the field of entrepreneurship.
Excellent.
That's deep. Truman is very futuristic and ambitious. But Truman,
Yeah.
how would you feel if your parents were to say, Truman, we want you to be a doctor, they pay for medical school, they tell you are going to use it to study medicine, and how do most teenagers out there feel?
Well, to be honest with you, Andiba, I want to make my parents happy. But I don't want to. I don't want a situation where I'm making my parents happy, but I'm making myself not happy for the rest of my life. So, in as much as they might want me to be a doctor, I'm afraid I cannot because that's not my passion. And it's something that most youths out there are facing. Parents wanting them to do something that they could not achieve, or because they want, as Mr. Tick said, a social status. So I believe that most youths out there maybe are facing the challenge that the parents are paying their school fees so they cannot say anything. But I feel like it's something that needs urgent response because most youth out there are not happy because they are not doing what they are passionate about. So I feel like parents should allow their children to just choose what they want to do in their lives.
I feel you, my man. So, Mr. Tiggs, what do you think should be done to solve this issue? What should parents do in order to panel their children towards their dreams, as much as they want to inculcate in them some of the traits that they believe are important? What should be done?
Is a parent to be the way that I would love to nurture my child in terms of their future career aspirations, and which I believe will be an answer to your question, is that number one, let the children be what they want to be in a
Yes,
flexible environment where they do the thing that they want to be,
that's
and only provide support to those aspirations that they have as children.
so allow them to express themselves.
Exactly. I would like to give you an example before I conclude.
Okay.
Today, I met a father and his son. They were carrying out some work at our place, and he's an electrician.
Okay.
So the son is doing his A levels and is into commercials. So what the father does is he shared the story with me, what he has done with all his children. He is an electrician. He really appreciates the need for his children to have skills. So what did he do? Ensure that all his children do their combinations that they would like to do, even pursue their degrees.
I think this is interesting.
Then he then taught his firstborn daughter on how to do electrical works,
Wow.
plumbing,
Wow.
and painting.
That's empowerment of women right there.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've never
definitely.
seen a girl plumbing before.
Exactly. Then the other two sons, which followed after the first daughter, who is now doing a degree in applied mathematics at UZ.
But she's got all these
She
other
has all
skills.
those other skills. She
She
can make
all-
money even if she doesn't get a job afterward.
Absolutely. So he has ensured that all his children are multifaceted in terms of the education and career aspiration that they need. But at the same time, as a parent, he has fostered those skills which he thinks, and also which I think that every child needs to possess. I still remember Mr. Masiwa in one of his blogs indicating the need for each and every individual to possess those skills with or without a degree.
Exactly.
So that it will be my conclusion and my takeaway point, which I think we as parents should adopt. Give them a flexible environment, let them choose, but at the same time, empower them with the skills that they need.
That's very true.
Thank you so much. So I think that we should also empower our youth so that they're able to open their minds to new opportunities and their passions. Thank you so much, Truman and Mr. Tix, for joining us on this very exciting episode. We're blessed to have you. And to our viewers at home, thank you for watching. Meet you next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching today's episode. It was an interesting but very intense conversation.
And please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get a notification every time we release a new episode. Thank you so much. We love you.